all these armies, they go to war, they come out of war and celebrate the success of the war. But did we ever think about it? What are they really celebrating? The loss of lives. Whilst you're celebrating, do you call yourself a wicked nation? Do you call yourself a wicked people? We celebrate, oh, the US has the greatest army in the world. Oh, the Japanese has the greatest. Oh, the Koreans has the great. Oh, the Chinese has the greatest armies in the world. Oh, this nation and that nation and that. What are you celebrating? What is making them great? The only thing that is making them great is because they killed certain people. They took human lives as though it is nothing, and we celebrate that and say that that is conquest. That shows the might and the power and the authority of that nation. What do you think war is about? Oh, so now you know it is not spirituality that is wicked. It is not spirituality that people have killed more people. Churches have killed more people. Religious movements have killed more people. Science have killed more people than spirituality can never dream of killing. Moving forward, every time you see me on this seat, you know I'm only addressing questions. I get a lot of questions, and I want to apologize for anybody that I don't answer your questions. So when I'm here, you know I'm addressing questions. When I'm at the shrine, you know I'm teaching. And when we're on the road, we're on the road. Definitely welcome to Mekra. I'm Osofo Jobente. Always excited to come your way. And exciting times ahead. And exciting times for the question that I'm about to address, because somebody asked me that, or the person technically said that, you know what, one of the things that makes me afraid of spirituality is the fact that there's too much killing. They kill too much. They're sacrificing this, and the witch is doing this, and the witch is doing that, and it gets scary. Why is there so much wickedness in spirituality? And the person was talking the whole time, and I was like, wait a minute, what's the person saying? Like, what are you saying? Too much killing in spirituality? Like, I've never seen any God ask any people. Of course, you want to talk about the God of the Bible. I don't even want to go there. But honestly, never seen any God in our spiritual ways or the ways of our fathers. I've never seen any God actually go out and say, you know what, go slaughter a whole nation. Never seen that. Yes, we know stories of sometimes how our fathers used, not necessarily our fathers, some spiritual stories that they used to use human sacrifices. And also, of course, during when chiefs die or kings die, they have to sacrifice certain humans. So how do I say this? In the literal sense, it's not actually killing the people. It's a way of letting the people accompany the chiefs or the kings and the queens so that they can serve them in the next life. So this was the understanding they had about it. It wasn't just for killing sake. And that you can count the number of times that this is happening. I can, as far as I know, if we put in numbers to it, so let's pretend to put numbers to that per se, that is basically not up to 1,000, 2,000. And then in over the span of about hundreds of thousands of years, I'm talking about situations where chiefs or kings die and they have to accompany by people, sacrifices. So I always wonder, why do people assign death and wickedness and human sacrifice to spirituality? Why? But the spirituality I know does not delve into human sacrifice. What I teach, what I practice, what I preach, that's not going to human sacrifice. As a matter of fact, when you come deep into the spiritual ways, you understand that you cannot even take a life. So even in the rituals that you do, you literally have to ask permission from the energies before you can actually sacrifice an animal. Okay? And even the animals have to agree with you that, okay, I am going to literally offer myself for the people. Jojo is saying my power stick looks scary now. It's still my power stick. It's still my power stick. But I've just been feeding my power stick. But it's still my power stick. But back to the subject. You would hardly hear a priest say, you know what, I'm going to kill a whole generation, a whole people. I'm going to kill. We hardly hear that. But then we look down into history, and as a matter of fact, there have been records of more dead people or human beings killing human beings, or people killing on people, or man-on-man crimes and what have you. There's records that shows that it's happened way much more than it happens in the spiritual circles. Just in case you didn't know this. Let me not even go to science. We'll come to science. We'll talk about the evolution of the religious states, or the various religious departments, or the various religious circles. We all know, it's a known fact, it's a known history, that every time a religious reign was trying to establish itself, it went to war. Before the religious reigns, we want to talk about the kingdoms and the empires and the dominance of one kingdom over the other, and everybody trying to overpower the other. Wars. I'm literally talking about. Do you have any idea how many lives wars have taken off the face of the earth, which has nothing to do with spirituality? Do you have? And I know people who say, well, the leaders and the warriors and the presidents, and not presidents, the kings and queens and commanders of the armies actually consulted energies or priests or sorcerers or prophets or what have you, comforts and all of that, so they could go to war. Well, that's the thing. Human beings consulting another human beings about their agenda, about their plans, about the things that they want to do, but that had nothing to do with the gods. So technically, you would never actually hear any god release a statement or decree that go and kill this many people for me. It's oftentimes human beings that are actually going out there to kill people. Okay? So coming back to the subject of there's so much death and killings and wickedness in spirituality. And then we see where the wickedness actually is. In people, but not in spirituality or spiritual process. Okay, so we have people killing hundreds of thousands and millions just to conquer one territory, and just to dominate, and just to say, I have the bigger empire, or I have the biggest kingdom. For human beings to demonstrate their strength, they go out to kill other fellow human beings as a prize to the kingdoms and the empires and the establishments that they are building. Yet no God actually instructed anybody to kill anybody. You always, in the rivers, find people going to the gods and telling the gods that I want to win this war and I want to conquer it. And human beings who are prophets of these gods come out to say that, well, the God is saying. It's very possible that these are the intentions of the human beings and had nothing to do with the gods. Because the gods understand the principles of not taking a human life. So this happens, the gods go in, the human beings go in and kill people. Question. Do you have any idea how many people died during the Persian invasion? Let's even go all the way back to the Greek invasions. To the Greek. Do you know how many people died during the Greek invasion? Do you know how many human lives were lost? Okay, let's fast forward to the Roman invasions. And let's go to the Persian invasions. And let's go to the Reformed Romans, the Catholic invasions, and the Protestants, and the church invasions, and the church rules, and all of that, all the way up to nations going against nations, and all the way up to kingdoms going against kingdoms, and cities going against, all the way up to the First World War. I'm still on wars. Can you count how many times people had to lose their lives? Why don't we ever address and say there's so much wickedness in human beings? But we always want to hide behind the scenes and say there's so much wickedness in spirituality. It's not spirituality that is demonstrating the wickedness of things. It's the human beings that are practicing these things. Human beings are the one causing evil, doing evil, and projecting evil. Not the God, not the spirit, not even so-called the demons. So now we come all the way to the First World War. Do you know how many people died? So human beings had the infantry to generate things like the atomic bombs and missiles and all this craziness. All this energy for what? Killing one another. We celebrated the countries and the kingdoms and the cities that won, as if lives were not just lost. Now we have the U.S. government and the Russian government and all these Palestinian governments and the Israeli government and all these people, the British army, all these armies, they go to war, they come out of war and celebrate the success of the war. But did we ever think about it? What are they really celebrating? The loss of lives. Because if one nation is able to overpower the other nation, what it literally means is that that nation have conquered the other nation. When a nation conquers the other nation, do you know what technically that means? That literally means is that that nation just killed a whole bunch of people, and the victor, the ones that comes winning and crowning as a victory, comes and celebrate the war of the loss of lives. Whilst you're celebrating, do you call yourself a wicked nation? Do you call yourself a wicked people? We celebrate, oh, the US has the greatest army in the world. Oh, the Japanese has the greatest. Oh, the Koreans has the great. Oh, the Chinese has the greatest armies in the world. Oh, this nation and that nation and that. What are you celebrating? What is making them great? The only thing that's making them great is because they inhumaned certain lives. They killed certain people. They took human lives as though it is nothing. They destroyed the planetaries. They destroyed the environment. They destroyed the trees. They destroyed the animals. They killed everything that comes in it. And we celebrate that and say that that is conquest. That shows the might and the power and the authority of that nation. What do you think war is about? You want to call the process, the system that tells you honor every life as evil and wicked and killing human lives? Are you talking about the world wars? All the way to the Second World Wars? All the way to Yemen? All the way to Saudi Arabia? All the way to all these nations that was all the way to Libya, to Congo, to South Africa, to Nigeria, to Ivory Coast, to Liberia. All these wars that were going on were celebrated. One nation suffers the defeat, another nation celebrate the success of the war, but what they are actually celebrating is the human lives that were lost, and you don't call that wicked? Do you know how many human lives were taken? You want to blame the little witch in your background, in your family? How many people can a witch kill in his lifetime or her lifetime? A wizard kill in a lifetime? But see the number of people that the wars have claimed. You don't call that wicked? Now let's evolve. Let's move away from wars and come to science. Do you know how many people died because of test projects? Guinea pigs? Experimental drugs? Do you know how many times the pharmacies, I don't want to go there because this is too broad a subject. But what I'm saying is that before they bring out any drug, do you know how many people they can kill? Or they actually go ahead to kill? Do you know how many people science have killed? All in the name of testing a product? Testing a subject. This is too sensitive, and you know what these people go after. So I don't want to say anything that they will come after. But my point of making is that don't ever, in your limited space of thought, say spirituality is evil. You've never seen spirituality. You've never come across spirituality. You've never met any God anywhere. You've never encountered any energy. Do you know what I want you to know? You've only encountered human beings. So where do you think all the trouble, all the problems, all the chaos, all these things are coming from? Human beings. If we start to appreciate life, not just human life, life in general, if we start to understand what life is about, if we try to embrace what life is about, do you ever think anybody would take anybody's life? Oh, so now you know. It is not spirituality that is wicked. It's not spirituality that people have killed more people. Churches have killed more people. Religious movements have killed more people. Science have killed more people than spirituality can never dream of killing. Religiosity has killed more people. People have killed more people. When we start appreciating life, when we start understanding what spirituality is all about, when we begin to be in fluid state, in fluidity with the Creator and everything the Creator has to offer, when you come into this space, you realize that spirituality can never be evil. And I say, those of you in the class, in the community, you know when I talk about spirituality, I'm not talking about, lack of a better word, I use the word spirituality. People kill people. And if we want to stop wickedness around us, do you know what we have to do? We have to begin to understand and appreciate life and know life for what it is. Once you come into life and you come into nature, you come into fluidity, wickedness can never cross your mind. Everything that would ever come out of you will be life, and you will be a life-giving force. Do you know why I have all these energies and all of that? It's not because of a God. It's not because of the God of your country, the God of your background. Every God you can ever think of loves me, and I love every God. Did you know why I have this? People. People are the reasons why I have my power stick. Not because of the gods. The gods are good. People. And if you try, you would understand what I'm saying. Have a great time. I love you guys always. Also, subscribe to all our channels, share, let's wake our people up. And of course, if you want to join the community, the link is in the description below. Click on it and you'll come into the community. And one of the administrators will definitely contact you. Have a great day. I love you guys.